As we all know, Polyphony have given us some pretty dubious races lately for Daily Race C, but this week's Daily Race C, well, this was much better. We had decent cars, we had a great track, we had grid starts, we had tyre strategy. On paper, this race had everything we wanted. We had thrills, skills, some great battles. Yes, we had a few muppets. After all, this is Gran Turismo 7. But don't just take my word for it. Enjoy. And don't worry guys, I'm not going to comment all the way through this one, I'll just add in here and there when needed. And as we come up to the end of lap 1, it's all getting a little tasty. I've got the slip on my Scirocco and I was going to go for an overtake. But thanks to Mr Smith there missing his braking point and scaring Perry, I decided to try and move around the outside. Only, I get forced off the track. Unfortunately for Perry, now I've got dirty tyres and I end up missing my braking and running into the back of him. Now, I'm sure some of you think I should have given that place up. And well, normally I would have done, but considering he's just tried to run me off the track, well, I can't say as I'm particularly bothered about giving that place back. At the end of the day, Perry, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. But I'm not the only one who is in the wars. As we ride on board with Martez here, you can see the guys in 5th and 6th behind him are trying to overtake. And they do, briefly, until they end up taking each other out. And we can see Mr Smith off the track there, and Marta's also got a good view of me being pushed wide. And for the next few laps it was basically me out in front, pulling away from the guys behind me. And trust me, I don't get to say that very often. So, just before we skip ahead, we'll take a look at the highlights of what happened during those few laps. Like this bit here, with Rubens, who was, well, to be honest, I'm not sure what he was doing, apart from playing in my kitty litter. Either way, it was enough to make him want to give up. Or this bit, on lap 3, where we ride on board with Bob again, who is causing carnage again. Although this time, I don't think it was intentional, it was just bad driving, followed by some more bad driving. And just a tip here, Bob, you are allowed to take your foot off the accelerator. Or you could just give up, I suppose. Or here, as we ride on board with old dog New Tricks, who was yet another victim at the quite difficult entry into the Bathurst pits. Or here, at the top of a mountain, where Martos and Gabe decided to do a little off-roading, and, well, I'm surprised neither of them took each other out. Yes, he got a little bit scruffy, but fair play to them, at least they didn't wipe out. and now we jump to the end of lap 5 and back on board with me. Now this is when I decided I was going to do my pit stop, and after seeing the carnage everybody else went through, I decided to go through the pits a little cautiously. But hey, it worked. Now for me, I was doing me change tyre strategy, so that's exactly what we did. Change tyres, back out onto the track, and I still managed to come out in 3rd, which isn't bad, behind Raffen and Perry. Now, is it just me, or does Perry seem to be going very slowly? And somehow, I don't think it's because he's got damage. Yep, saw that one coming. But what I love most of all about idiots like him is not only did he fail to stop me overtaking him, he ends up crashing himself and losing a place. What an absolute muppet. And thanks to Perry driving like a complete plonker, that allowed me a nice easy move back up into 2nd place. And now we'll just skip ahead a little bit. Now, I'll admit, at this point I'd completely lost track of who had already made pit stops and who hadn't. So I was actually really pleased when I saw Raffen, who was in 1st, was making a pit stop. That made it a lot easier for me. But even better than that, the guy who was behind me was also making a pit stop, and that meant I had a little bit of clear room behind me. But just before I skip ahead to the final lap, we'll take a little look at one last little bit of naughtiness from the other drivers. And here we see Maltese in 5th, chasing down the fringe in 4th, before Gabe in the eeriest livered rig car quite rudely punts him out the way. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I'm fairly sure that is not how you do an overtake. Now, as we jump back on board with me, I'm coming up to start the 9th and final lap, and so I'll just let this one run through. Now, as we turn the final corner and come to cross the start finish straight, I take the checkered flag and the win. But even better than that, the top 3 places are all taken by British drivers. Go Team Britain! Now, if you've enjoyed this video, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons, as it does really help out the channel. And I will see you guys in the next video. For more great videos like this one, follow this link. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.